今、アメリカの教室では何が起こっているのか。Z 世代、アルファ世代の教育現場が崩壊し、教師の離職率が急増しています。我々が知るべき教育崩壊の真実を、この動画の最後まで見て、一緒に考えましょう。また、崩壊だけではなく一部の希少な天才教師たちがうまく教室中を笑いに巻き込む成功例の動画も添えてお送りします。
Please sit down.
Mom said I had the right to beat your ass.
Nobody should hurt anybody else.
Yes, I should.
No,
Dang, yes. Beat that.
no. It is not, fighting is never the answer.
Did I say I was gonna fight?
I don't promote
Okay, you
violence.
should never hurt anybody
But
else.
did I say I was gonna fight?
We don't promote
See,
violence.
that's how I know you put stuff in my mouth. But did I say that though? I didn't say that though.
Okay, I'm just telling you that violence.
Okay, I'm just telling you, don't put stuff in my mouth.
I'm done.
You quit?
Not to be disrespected by anybody. I don't know who you people think you are, but you don't treat anybody like this. Not funny. Seriously, bro.
I'm so surprised. Well, actually, I'm not surprised by the amount of support that are in the comments for that teacher. I'm not saying whether I support what that teacher has done or not, so don't even be looking for me to say anything like that. All I know is that teachers are human beings, and a lot of times people forget that. For someone to be pushed to the point of yelling like that in a professional setting, like his entire livelihood, his money, his dignity was on the line, and he threw it all out the window. That means something. Either that guy is not very mentally stable, which I don't know him, but from what I've seen, the fact that he's in that classroom tells me that he was extremely and utterly disrespected. And another thing I want you all to notice is how quiet the entire class is whenever that teacher is doing what he's doing. It's sad that it had to come to that. But I see time and time again, even with me sometimes as an assistant principal, that students are just not listening. They can be extremely disrespectful, and this is not all of them. I'm not going to give a blanket statement because there are some amazing kids out there, but there are some students who have learned to treat adults this way because they do that at home, and they think that it's going to translate well with a stranger or someone that they just met, like a teacher. But I want to know what your thoughts are.
Do you honestly believe that these teachers are quitting their job 2 weeks into the school year because they're not getting paid enough, or because the politics that they're dealing with from outside of the classroom is too much to handle? No, that's not the reason. The reason why they're quitting is because these kids are mean, and they're making the classroom a war zone, and they're getting zero support from parents at home and from admin on their campus. This 100% stems from the stuff that they have to deal with day in and day out from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. inside their classroom. It's the stuff that you have to deal with inside your classroom that makes you burn out and makes you never want to come back. I understand that so many of our kids are dealing with rough lives at home and are dealing with trauma, dealing with mental illness, dealing with learning disabilities. All of those things make it difficult to thrive in school, and I understand that. But the problem is that all of those things are no reason to treat other human beings like a piece of garbage. Regardless of your opinion of teachers, most teachers that I know wake up every single day excited to teach whatever lesson that they've spent hours planning and creating, and they want to have a meaningful experience with the students in their classroom. They want to have a good day. And I know, speaking for myself, I woke up every day praying that it was going to be a good day, praying that the kids that I had that day were going to be as excited about the content that I was ready to present as much as I was. And most days, that is not what I got met with. On the daily, teachers are getting cussed out, spit on, hit, flipped off. Their equipment is getting broken and stolen. There are bullies in class that are relentless, not just to their own fellow students, but to the adult in the room. Imagine if you had to deal with that at your job. I'm speaking to non-teachers right now. right? You would not put up with that. You would stay somewhere where you were treated with respect and you knew that you were safe in your work environment. If someone came every single day to your job, bullied you, hit you, cussed you out, rolled their eyes at you, treated you like you were nothing, like you were garbage, you wouldn't want to come back either. You would put in your 2 weeks notice. But for some reason, so many people believe that we signed up for that. Because that's a part of teaching, and that's just how kids are. I made the decision not to return to the classroom this year, and I haven't been in a classroom for months now, and I still have nightmares, trauma nightmares, on a weekly basis about my former classroom and my former students. And yes, it is a parent and an admin problem just as much as it is a kid problem. Because the difference between now and 20 years ago even is that 20 years ago, when you would have a kid cuss you out, hit you, smack other kids, ruin your property, steal things off of your desk, there was going to be somebody on campus that was going to back you up and find a solution. But now that's not the case. Suspensions are down because they want those numbers down. They want to look good. They're not suspending kids for getting in fights and being violent in the classroom anymore. It's just not happening. Even in the early 2000s and 2010s when I started my career, I was assured that if I called a parent to tell them about what was going on in my classroom with their child, they were most definitely going to say, I am so sorry, do what you need to do, I'll talk to them when they get home, right? That doesn't happen anymore either. It is a parent problem because we're getting met with the same attitudes that we see in the classroom.
I am a first-year high school English teacher. This is definitely going to be my first and last year teaching. I was made very quickly aware of the fact that this is not the profession for me. It is absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills. And I'm not talking about the ESC kids, the 504s, the IEP kids. I'm talking about your everyday regular Joe Schmo from Kokomo kid who does not know how to read and write at the level that they should. And the problem is that they don't care to learn how to do those things correctly. I can't teach the class because your kid wants to be a disruption, because your kid wants to be on their phone, because your kid does not give a flying about their education. The problem really, yes, the problem is your kid. The problem is also you as a parent, but the problem is also the administration who continuously makes these stupid excuses for these kids' bad behavior. Why in the world are you still talking about COVID? Every time these kids act up, it's always, well, they spent 2 years in COVID. So did everybody else. That was 2 years ago. At what point are we gonna stop blaming COVID for these kids' bad behavior? At what point are we gonna stop making these excuses?
Cash. Stop it! I don't want to play anymore. Open it up.